Welcome back to another video, my friends. Setano here, and today we'll be looking at Tech Shoto versus Strike Shoto. I had to think about that one for a minute there. Which one should you be using more? Which one is going to suit you more? Which one is going to put that smile on your face more? It's going to vary for different people. So we're going to have one game with Tech Shoto, and we're going to have one game with Strike Shoto, and we're just going to talk about, you know, the kinds of things that you're going to be looking for on both, and then you can come to your own conclusion as to which one you would like to play more. Alright, it's going to be live commentary, so hopefully I won't be getting my head kicked in too much when I'm trying to formulate my thoughts, but it should be okay. So when it comes to this one here, I would say if you're an alpha-based player, like you're someone who likes to play, you know, characters that have good alphas or reliable alphas, this is going to take a bit of getting used to for you. And that's primarily because the alpha of our good friend here, Shoto, on the tech variety, is not great. It's not that it can't be worked with, but it's not the most reliable thing you'll ever see. Oh, he healed himself, did he? Oh, you're up there? Okay, buddy. I bet he's gonna get a heal on himself. Yeah, he did. Little rat. Not good. Come on, Deku. Be the distraction you were meant to be. Oh my god, this is hilarious, dude. This is actually so funny. I know that guy is furious right now, dude. I know that overhaul is absolutely furious. So funny. So funny. Probably went over the top. Yeah. Oh, where'd you come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Not good. Where did you come from, Catalajo? Yes, that's right. Punish him. That Deku might have given you a second chance, but I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. So yeah, as you can see, this Shoto doesn't have a lot of maneuverability. You'd be, you know, forgiven for thinking that the other one you wouldn't necessarily say had tons of maneuverability either. But compared to this one, you know, Strike Shoto looks like a completely different beast when it comes to moving around. Oh god, not good. Block that off. Oh, good for him. Good for you. So as you can see, the aiming on the Tech Shoto Alpha is not great. The main power of this lies with your ability to make the most out of his Gamma and his Beta. If you can't do that, it's going to be a really hard time for you. Again, it's not to say you can't hit those alphas, it's just not going to be straightforward like it would be on some other characters in the way that you might want it to be. This was like a really hard game to come into to decide where I want to explain the ins and outs of this character, or at least, you know, the upsides and the downsides. But yeah, he's a really good controlling character. Tech Shoto is really good for controlling spaces, and Strike Shoto is not as good at controlling those spaces. So even though you don't have as much mobility on this particular iteration of Shoto, you will have more control over inside spaces, and you can lock areas down a lot more handily than the other Shoto. Both are pretty good in small areas, but this one is like definitely like takes the cake between the two of them. I mean, he bakes the cake, takes it, you name it. Trying to figure out if that was like a brainless clone or someone trying to give me a bad time. That's solos, baby. You never know. Is someone taking that, you wonder? Are they inside or outside? Outside. Well, I guess if nobody wants it, I'm gonna be the one to take it. Nobody wants this box, huh? All mine. Korka? Why did I do that to 9? I should have put it to 8, and then the whatever you call it, the leveling up potion would have put it to 9 anyway. That's me being an idiot. Don't agree with me. What do you mean, yes, that's you being an idiot? Hey, I'm only allowed to say that. You can't tell me that. I'm in that space now where every bit of health counts, so... Great. Son of a gun. My plan worked until I just didn't do the hitting part of it. I lured him in, but I just couldn't finish the job. Okay, maybe I did. I got hit on him. Hey, do you need that stuff? Not my intended target, but it worked. Surprise, Ida. Big surprise. Move your fat legs out of my way. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so unfortunate. Was that a stroke of genius? I think it was. Yeah, I can see that that ice bridge, sometimes it just locks off a bit before you think it would do. Maybe I can put that inside. I'm surprised. Nah, I thought maybe it'd go through the through the floor. Great. Fabulous. This is a really really chaotic one, isn't it? Oh my gosh, no! Not like this! Being very cheeky with what we're doing here. Okay. RKO? Like Randy Orton? Randy Orton! Oh, I thought I might have caught him out there. So as you can see, Tech Shoto is really good at locking down areas, making people not want to get close to him. He can punish real hard when he gets a moment to do so. His alpha could be a lot better, but again, if you can make use of the other things, it's not going to hold you back too much, only in certain situations. Just kind of have to lead the shot a bit. That's where you were. I know the other one isn't down. Surprise on that one, buddy. The other deku. Go on. Go on, lad. Oh, you as well? And there you have it. Tech Shoto running the gauntlet, pulling out all the stops. So that's what's good about Tech Shoto. Let's talk about it for a bit. Why would you choose Tech Shoto over Strike Shoto? Okay, so first things first, very good at controlling areas. If you're in a building, if you're in a small circle, if you've got some kind of corner or wall to work around, you can essentially control that area and lock that area down. When you control that area and you lock that area down, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage with the beta and with the gamma, because the gamma, if that catches them, it's going to, you know, burn them to pieces, knock them back. And also similar sort of thing with the beta, you can knock them back, and you can also use that as an explosion, be it if they try to do an air wake up or if they just go back to it, you know, fairly soon after you put it out there. So Tech Shoto is the better option for locking down areas. It's also good for when you're playing, obviously, in the team mode. If you have team characters who are more mobile than he is, they can give you that aerial support that you need and also distract enemies so that you can put all of your focus into locking an area down and making sure that your lack of mobility isn't going to be too much of a hindrance, because you have characters on your team who are going to be, you know, the distractions in the air for the other enemy players. Now, obviously, if you do find yourself in a bit of a pickle, it's going to come down to your foundational movement. What do I mean by foundational movement? What I mean is, how good are you at moving in this game without any kind of quirk ability to make you fly or jump high or, you know, skateboard across the ground? When you don't have any of those available to you, it really is going to come down to your foundational movement, whether you can escape a situation or not. And sometimes it's not even going to be your fault a lot of the time. You might have great foundational movement, but sometimes the situation is you are going to die. But there will also be a lot of the times where this foundational movement can carry you to survive. So I would say if you have good foundational movement and you want to lock down areas, Tech Shoto is absolutely the choice for you. The alpha is not great, but with some practice you can make it manageable, and it still does have its place within the kit. And obviously the beta and the gamma are very, very, very good options for this Tech Shoto. Honestly, I think some people don't even realize the true scale of how good that the you know, the alpha into beta explosion is. You can catch so many people through areas that you don't even deserve. You can hit people through walls, through buildings. You could be on the ground floor, they could be on the top floor. You could do it inside, they're on the outside, and you're still gonna get that explosion hit. Maybe even the beta hit as well. So there are so many things you can do with Tech Shoto that are kind of off limits to Strike Shoto, which we're gonna look at soon enough. So I'm going to say, if you are going to choose between the two, if you are a more methodical player, if you are a more controlling player, a more tactical player, I would say maybe Tech Shoto is the one you want to pick up and learn, because there are a lot of benefits to him. Lack of mobility is obviously a drawback, but if you are a very good player, you know, someone that's been, you know, able to use Derby in the past, someone that's been able to use, you know, Strike Shigaraki even, I guess, to some degree in the past. If you've been someone who's been good with Ibara, Kendo, those types of characters who don't necessarily have great movement, but they are good when they're doing their thing. If you do like to play those characters, Tech Shoto is going to be straight up your alley, probably even more up your alley than those characters themselves. So absolutely, Tech Shoto, he's a great pick. He's very fun when you get the hang of him. Maybe at first it can be a bit, but once you actually understand and you know what to do with him, you will have a good time. Obviously, he does have some drawbacks. You know, some characters are going to be a bit hard for him to, you know, punish. But yeah, fun one. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that that cracking solo lobby there. Nobody wanted to give it up. Shout out to those dekus. They gave me a good fight there. And yeah, let's move on to Strike Shoto. Okay, now let's talk about Strike Shoto. So Strike Shoto is going to be for those of you who like your alpha a lot more. Those of you who can't live without hitting the alpha. And that's not a bad thing, because a lot of us do love the alphas of this game. But if you are somebody who's a lot of your game relies on, you know, firing long-range shots, mid-range shots reliably, then the alpha is going to be better on the side of Strike Shoto. And then they have the mobility, which is also pretty good for Shoto, in the sense that he can basically go throw zone and ice skate along the ground, which is super reliable and so much more better mobility than what Tech Shoto offers as well. So when it comes to the differences mainly between Strike Shoto and Tech Shoto, it's going to be, one is mainly for locking places down and having more wider range, you know, of attacks for their AoE, and the other one is going to be more pinpoint precise attacks, you know, with some stun, such as on his Gamma, with a bit more, what's the word, mobility to use on top. Now, it's not the best mobility in the world because you can't go upwards with it, but, you know, in comparison to what is on offer for you from the side of Tech Shoto, you know, the mobility is, you know, night and day, I would say, night and day. Not deep into the midnight, but, you know, just a nice cool evening, if you catch my drift. So Strike Shoto is also very good. Your main weapons are going to be his Ice Slide, mainly for freezing people, and then getting the stun damage off. His beta is also pretty good, but once you use the Tech Shoto beta, you realize how inefficient the Strike beta is going to be in comparison. The Strike beta is nice, but, you know, that in comparison to what the Tech one offers you, it's a very big difference. You can hit people far more easier with Tech Shoto's beta than that one. This one, however, though, is really good for blocking areas off, so you can use it to block, you know, doorways, pathways, etc. off with that. And you might say, oh, well then Shoto Strike can control as well. Not so much. I wouldn't say that having the ability to use that beta gives him a measure of control similar to Tech Shoto's. But if you really want to look at it that way, I guess you could say yes, but it's going to be nowhere near the same level. So Strike Shoto is going to be for those of you who need some mobility in your game, people who like to move around quick, people who don't like to be stuck in one place, don't like to be doing the running man everywhere they go. And also it's going to be for those of you who maybe, you know, just by your gameplay style, you perhaps rely on the good old-fashioned alphaing maybe a little bit more than most people. Not to say that you probably couldn't figure out, you know, how to make the most. You gonna come over here? Nope. As you can see already, like, such a way more reliable, you know, alpha in compared to the other one. I tried to do a second right after to make him, like, drop his thing, and it nearly worked. Oh, if he came in for that. Mirio, I wish you came! Nani? Not like that! I didn't mean it like that. Ooh, the 4-1! Did I mean to save that deku? Not really. But did I though? That's what I did do. Again, I didn't mean it. It's just what happened. Where you going? There's something satisfying about showing a mirror that they can't do whatever they want to everybody. It's like this Mirio right now thinks like Strike, he thinks Strike Shoto is the meta or something. Oh, I didn't know he was gonna mess that up so bad. He's had a lot of time to practice this with all the fucking fights I've given him. Bastard. How dare he? See, I could smell that one coming. I could smell that one coming. I don't know why I've gotten into this. I don't know how, rather. I don't know how I've gotten into this devious 1v1 with this Mirio, but it's like we're trying to prove a point here. He's trying to prove a point about Mirio. I'm trying to prove a point about Shoto. So as you can already see, this Shoto is for more single target damage. You're not going to control a battlefield in the same way that you can with Tech Shoto as Strike. Strike is all about that single target damage. Stun one person, punish them dearly for it. No, don't get me wrong, you can stun more than one person with his Gamma, but it's like it's not going to be the thing that happens all the time for you. So, you know, this Shoto is more about single target damage, stun someone, punish them big time, catch them slipping if they're not looking with a lot of nice alphas, that kind of thing. And obviously when you need a breather, get somewhere safe, block yourself off with an ice wall. Or, you know, put an ice wall down and, you know, use it as, you know, cover while you shoot through it and the enemies can't get to you. You know, provided they don't have mobility to get around it, like 80% of the roster does. But that's besides the point. So you should be able to see where I'm coming at now. Tech Shoto is for more controlling the battlefield and dealing lots of damage to multiple people at once. Fancy seeing you here. Lucky. Does this do more damage than it used to? I swear they capped this a while ago. Doesn't look like it. Maybe they changed it. Did they remove the limits on what the damage for this could be once you stun somebody? If so, that's news to me. But then again, I haven't played him for ages, so... 2,000 damage, no kills. Fabulous. And you punch me? Why punch me? What did I do? Why punch me? You've got the chance to hit two people. One of them can go intangible. You choose me. Why me? Oh my god, I actually Vlad the Impaler him. Did you see that? I literally Vlad the Impaler him. He came down on it with his cheeks. Honestly, I don't even care about getting his. I just want him to back off. Okay, he's not getting the message. Okay, he's making his own message. He's making his own message. Don't worry about it. Oh, is that Mirio out? No. It's the awful ones out. So that you just don't get that same level of alpha reliability from Tech Shoto. This Mirio is really starting to wind me up. Might just focus him. Atomika Fly. He definitely lived up to his username. He was flying. No? Okay. Scare him a bit. Oh my god, I'm the one that got scared. Gotta get out the guy who can self-heal. That should be the priority there. What the hell? How did none of that hit this dude? Are we being serious? Oh god. I'm so surprised none of that like sort of went around the tree. This goes through that as well. Yeah, this guy's a problem. Yeah, overhaul is not a good matchup for this Shoto, I don't think. Cheeky little heal. You gotta know your target audience. My target audience right now is not this guy. I did not know that guy went down. Jump on that. G to the G to the G, G, G. Respect to that deku, respect to that overhaul, and yeah, a little bit of respect to the Mirio. Mirios are annoying. Mirios are annoying. Only because they can just run away from their mistakes. But I guess that's in line with the character, so who am I to complain? But yeah, there you have it. Should you choose Strike Shoto or Tech Shoto? Choose Tech Shoto if you already have or are willing to learn good foundational movement. If you are willing to learn or already know how to control zones using your abilities, be it interiors, small circles, anything where people are going to want to be around. If you are good at controlling areas or you want to learn how to control areas using your quirks, choose Tech Shoto. If you want single target damage and stuns, stopping people in place, giving them a lot of damage for their time once you do stop them. If you want to hit those alphas a lot more easier, if you want to block areas off to give yourself protection or cover while you shoot your alphas off, or try to freeze people with your gamma, Strike Shoto is what you want to do. It also will allow you to move a little bit better because you have more mobility. So if you are someone who cannot function without some sort of mobility, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, it's absolutely fine if you don't like no mobility characters. If you don't like no mobility characters, then you absolutely want to go Strike Shoto if you have to choose between the two of them. Again, if you do have good mobility good movement without mobility, or you're willing to learn it, then I would say pick up Tech Shoto on that basis. So who should you use more? Strike Shoto or Tech Shoto? If it was up to me in a game of life and death, I think I'd go with Tech Shoto. I think he offers more. He can attack more people at once. And I think he has more influence on a game, especially an end circle. I think Strike Shoto is still very good for single target damage, and it's good for countering people. But I think Strike Shoto has more problems with more characters than Tech Shoto has with more characters. I think more characters give Strike Shoto a bigger issue than those same characters will give Tech Shoto. purely because Tech Shoto can land shots a bit easier with his alpha and his gamma and control areas and make those high mobility characters kind of pay for getting near him. Whereas with Strike Shoto, the high mobility characters, you kind of have to fight them on their terms, and that's never really fun unless, you know, they do something silly and they put themselves down where you can put your ice on them, or if you catch them out in mind games. But at higher levels, that's going to be more and more difficult to do. So I would say Tech Shoto is probably the better of the two for more situations, especially if you have a good team backing you up. These were solo games just so you can see how they work, you know, when they're on their own. But in terms of if you have a good team with you, Tech Shoto can get so much work done because he's not going to have all the focus on him. Strike Shoto is just kind of like having another Deku or a Bakugo around, just shooting people, but he can't go up places. Again, I'm saying that like I'm dissing Strike Shoto, but I'm not. Just trying to put the mindset into you of what you could be expecting, you know, in those kind of situations. But yeah, both are good, both are fun. Shoto is a great character in the show and in the game. Obviously not one of the most powerful ones, but still doable on both sides of the spectrum. There you have it. That's my opinion. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the games. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for being here. Set out.